These blue domes are the first thing anyone sees when approaching Samarkand, rising far above the city canopy even today. In 1399, Timur returned from his Indian campaign leading a massive caravan of looted wealth and the most skilled craftsmen he could find. He ordered his new laborers to funnel these resources into a single point, the construction of a capital center designed to physically dominate the region. This wasn't a project built through internal growth. It was a physical manifestation of Timur's conquests, using the spoils of war to reshape the skyline of Samarkand on an unprecedented scale. Standing at the foot of the main portal reveals the scale Timur demanded. At 35 meters high, the entrance is roughly equivalent to an 11-story modern building. The layout, seen here in this 4-Iwan design, was built with enough volume to house the entire male population of the city for weekly prayers. To achieve these dimensions in the 15th century, the architects had to push past the established engineering limits of the time, but that scale came with immediate risks. Despite its role as a permanent symbol of power, the structure began showing deep structural cracks almost as soon as the scaffolding was removed. Local folklore attributes these failures to a romantic tragedy involving Queen Bibi Khanem and an architect who supposedly sabotaged the project after a forbidden kiss. Historical evidence suggests a more practical reality. The building was a piece of imperial propaganda, commissioned specifically to legitimize Timur's reign through monumental scale. These romantic myths often serve to distract from the calculating nature of imperial architecture, which is designed more for intimidation than for storytelling. In the center of the courtyard sits this massive marble stand, or lock. It was built for one purpose: to bear the weight of a giant sacred Quran. Today, its interior function has been replaced by local tradition. Citizens now come to touch the stone to pray for family health and peace. It shows how the public can reclaim a space built to project power, turning an imperial relic into a quiet tool for personal hope. The engineering failure began at the top. Timur forced a 5-year construction deadline for a 40-meter main dome. This aggressive timeline left no room for the structural settling of the heavy masonry. This diagram highlights the built-in structural overload. Red arrows show the massive downward force pushing against the support arches. Bricks began falling while Timur was still alive, prioritizing speed over integrity. The 1897 earthquake was merely the final blow to this unstable structure. The eventual collapse was a mathematical certainty, the result of pushing 15th-century materials beyond their physical breaking point. Today, the mosque exists as a combination of two very different architectural approaches. On the left of this diagram, the authentic ruins approach leaves the cracked brickwork exposed, preserving the physical history of the building's failure. On the right, modern restoration has covered those scars with new tilework and blue domes to recreate the original skyline. It leaves us with a choice between seeing the building as it was intended to look or as it actually functioned, a choice between the propaganda and the reality. The cracked walls of the Bibi Khanem Mosque reveal the internal logic of the Timurid state. These exposed bricks and missing tiles show a side of the empire that the finished propaganda attempted to hide. They show an empire that attempted to expand its borders and its monuments faster than the physical reality of the time would allow. The mosque remains a physical record of an ambition that was simply too massive for its own foundations to support.